here's another thing about nursery rhymes, like Humpty Dumpty. Where did we ever get the idea that he was an egg?
Yeah, I don't know. What were the horses doing? All the king's horses and all the king's men. Like, what are they going to contribute? I can only imagine horses are down there with their hooves just trying to piece together pieces of an egg.
True. Making a real mess of things.
Yeah.
Just
scuffing up
stamping
the
all
place,
over it.
you know?
Yeah. Hello everybody and welcome to the Empty Promise podcast. My name is Chris and today I'm joined by my best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. James D. Downey.
Hello.
D,
Hello,
thank you for being here. Yes, across the internet for episode 128.
Yep, that's correct.
Got it right this week. Last week I got that horribly wrong twice to begin the show, but we are on episode 128. We are coming through Zoom this week, which is not our personal favorite preference or way to do a podcast, but it's better than none, D.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's just good to be able to talk, Chris.
Exactly, and it's good to keep up the consistency of an episode a week. So this is very nice. Thank you for joining me on March 12th. I don't know what the weather's like with you, D, but it's a pretty nice Saturday morning here with us.
Yeah, it's a nice spring morning and a typical spring morning. Yeah.
It is typical spring morning. Spring has come in like a lamb.
It'll go out
set to go
like a lion.
Yeah.
Like a lion chocolate bar.
I feel melted. I feel like this has been one of the most kind of talked about things on our show is always spring coming in and leaving.
Yeah.
I feel like any podcast I've listened back to, it's been March.
Yeah. I think it's because we get like a kick up the ass in January, to get back into it. And then we go through spring and then half of the summer, and then the summer we take our summer break or whatever, and then we don't always come back from that. Or if we do,
March.
Yeah, exactly. If we do, it's like for a couple of episodes between September, October time. Then we're off again for Christmas. we take off for Christmas in like the 1st of November, and then back again in January. Or we talk about coming back in January and get going again in spring. So probably that's why, Chris. Yeah. We're a springtime podcast.
That's true. Well, I have a little bit of information about the day that is March 12th, if you'd like to hear it, D.
Absolutely.
In 1930, on March 12th, in British-ruled India. Look at that. Britain just ruling everywhere. just wherever they wanted to go, just stuck a flag into the ground.
Just take a country, just throw a dart at a map, and it's like that was British ruled at one point. Probably.
Yeah. Well, in British-ruled India, Mahatma Gandhi begins his campaign of passive resistance and civil disobedience by leading a march to collect salt from the sea against all government regulations. He was quite the badass.
He was.
Gandhi. Yeah.
Quite the legend.
And I also have a list, D, because we like lists on this show. But this is about sad and nasty nursery rhymes.
Is this related to Mahatma Gandhi, or is this...
Not even in a little bit. I had to take the list from a different day.
Excellent.
The previous list was about salt. I just didn't find it to be overly entertaining, so I thought sad and nasty nursery rhymes would be better. Three Blind Mice, D, is a tale about 3 mice having their tails cut off with a carving knife.
Blind mice, no less.
Blind mice. Tom, the piper's son. A pig gets eaten and a boy gets beaten. D. Not very friendly. Yeah. London Bridge is falling down. D. A collapsing bridge is never a laughing matter.
Hundreds dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Jack and Jill. A boy sustains a serious head injury and receives primitive, if not inadequate, medical treatment.
He's not going to be alive.
And finally, Rockabye Baby. So, Rockabye Baby in a treetop.
Yep.
Well, a very young child is rather foolishly left up a tree with inevitable consequences.
It's just negligent.
It's negligence.
I
You
don't know
wouldn't
what
get
else
away
to
with a
say.
nursery rhyme like that nowadays, I don't think.
Probably not.
Leaving a child unattended at the top of a tree during a storm.
That's what you should do. If you were going to do a nursery rhyme today, that's what you should do. Just be completely literal with it. Like,
Yeah.
leave a child on a tree, hope they blow down and die. I didn't make that rhyme, but poetry doesn't have to rhyme.
Exactly. Poetry does not have to rhyme. It's like, here's another thing about nursery rhymes. Like Humpty Dumpty. Where did we ever get the idea that he was an egg?
Yeah, I don't know. All we know is that he sat on a wall, had a big fall. I don't know.
And the king's guards couldn't put him back together.
What were the horses doing? All the king's horses and all the king's men. Like, what are they going to contribute? How are they going to... I don't know, Chris.
Maybe they were bringing the men to the scene of the accident.
Yeah, but they say all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So I can only imagine horses are down there with their hooves just trying to piece together pieces of an egg.
True. Making a real mess of things. Just
scuffing
stamping
up the
all
place,
over it. Yeah.
Just kicking pieces all over.
There's a very real chance that Humpty Dumpty was in fact a canon. I remember reading this years ago. That,
oh, really?
Yeah, if you think about it, he sat on a wall. Like cannons used to sit like on a wall.
Yeah.
And then he fell and all of the men couldn't actually put the cannon back together. So there's a chance that Humpty Dumpty was in fact a cannon.
That makes sense. Certainly more sense than an egg.
Yeah, but I just don't see, like, I don't think you can draw a cannon with like a, for
like
a kid's nursery rhyme. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Give it a go. It's a pretty, like violent caricature as well. Cannon.
Exactly.
I'm happy. I'm fine with an egg. I'm fine with him being an egg.
But I think that's pretty violent as well. Any child reads that and Humpty falls and all of a sudden he's just splattered all over the floor.
Because that's a living thing. I mean, I don't know what species he is, but he died.
Yeah, he did.
Cannon breaking, sad, sure, but
Yeah. I know. At least
death
it's only a
is more
thing.
extreme.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Dave, moving on from our lists and our sad nursery rhymes. Before we get into some news and stuff from the week, you want to tell me what you're keeping hydrated with during this episode?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's an integral part of the podcast.
I got some Monster Energy Ultra Gold.
It looks so good.
This is according to ancient Greek legend, the nectar of ambrosia give immortality to all who drank it. Unfortunately, this fruit of the gods is just a myth, but we were inspired to create Ultra Gold to get as close as we can for mere mortals. Zero sugar, easy drinking Ultra Gold is the heavenly fresh flavor of biting into perfectly ripened golden pineapple. While we can't promise immortality, our Monster Energy blend will help you stay focused, alert, and ready for whatever life throws at you. Go for the gold.
They're so good at writing those things, dude.
They are. They have a little asterisk at this. What the hell?
An asterisk at what point?
At the very end, where they're like, it'll help you stay focused, alert, and ready for whatever life throws at you. It probably is just like, this is fucking full of caffeine. Probably. I can't find the reference. Anyway, I'm going to. Caffeine. It says caffeine may contribute to improved concentration and increased alertness. So okay, fair. Oof.
Ooh, sounds good. Let me know what that hits like.
I'm really excited about this because
Pineapple.
I love the watermelon one, and when I heard there was pineapple in the same vein, I was like, pineapple's my go-to fruit. Like, well, it's not my go-to, but it's probably S tier fruit for me. Pineapple.
Okay.
Particularly pineapple flavored things like lollipops and like sweets and stuff.
That's how I feel about watermelon. Watermelon is definitely up there.
So cheers, lad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice. Watermelon might still edge it though.
Okay. That's disappointing. I was hoping for this to be top tier. It's gold at the end of the day.
I don't know if it's top tier. I don't know if it's S tier, Chris, but it's definitely high.
It's definitely there.
I definitely overhyped it. I'm not gonna lie. I had higher expectations. I feel bad because it's still a really nice drink. Like that's up there with like the purple and blue kind of variants,
I'm not a big fan of the blue, but the purple's always good.
The purple in my mind is just, or the blue is just like a diluted version of the purple to a certain extent in my mind.
Yes,
So,
that makes sense.
So they're not
That
quite,
makes sense.
and I would put red in that tier as well, to be honest.
Mm.
I got white.
Oh, I like red. I like
know,
red.
yeah, but it's still below white in my mind. White and my delicious Fiesta.
I have white here today. It's okay.
It's very plain.
Yeah.
Vanilla, if you will. All right.
Vanilla. Right. D. Let's move into some news of the week. Let's not dwell on Monster too much today.
Okay.
I
I sure hope you have some, Chris, because I got nothing. We're not prepared at all. No, I do have something.
I have a piece as well, but you go on ahead.
Would you like to start with Caging the Beast? Piece of Nick Cage
Yes.
news. We don't have the
course I do.
audio effect, obviously. We had it last week. We had no Nick Cage news, but we have it.
What's the point?
How about
What's
this?
the point?
We have Nick Cage week this news.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Nick Cage week? I'm so lost.
It's been a while from I've even heard any Nick Cage news. I guess because my main Nick Cage news came from this podcast.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you've got a lot to look forward to, Chris. Trailer for his latest film, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, came out. I assume you haven't seen it.
No. This is Nick Cage playing Nick Cage, isn't that right?
This is Nick Cage playing Nick Cage in a...
And that's not even a joke. He's literally playing Nick Cage. He's
Hollywood-
playing himself.
Hollywood actor Nick Cage is playing Hollywood actor Nick Cage. Like, obviously, like a heightened, like, more insane version of himself. But, like, it definitely plays heavily into the whole meme around Nick Cage being, a lunatic, basically.
Crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, it does look insane. Like, the trailer is fantastic. It's
When
Pedro...
is this due to come out?
Oh, that's a good question that you would have thought I would have the answer to, right? Soon, Chris. So
Okay.
it is premiering. I think it should be at the top of this article that we have. March 12th,
Today.
today.
Okay.
That's the
Is this
premiere,
coming to-
but that's the premiere at South by Southwest. So that's not like
Is
open.
yeah.
So it's not gonna be in your cinema just yet.
But this is going to come to cinemas?
Oh, absolutely! Like it's a big Hollywood like movie.
Okay.
It's a comedy, dramedy kind of actiony kind of movie. The trailer looks excellent. It's got Pedro Pascal in it, and he looks he's brilliant as usual. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this then, because I would just like to go to the cinema again to see a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like it's been a while since he's been in like a big movie.
Yeah.
Which this definitely is. Like it's getting a lot of backing from like all the big studios in Hollywood. They're gonna make it a big deal. It's already got some pretty positive impressions. So yeah.
Who's directing this, or does that not
the guy
really weigh into it?
is Tom Gormican, who did other movies. Ghosted. I haven't really heard of him before. But apparently he had to write an impassioned letter to Nick Cage to get him to come on board.
Really?
Yeah, Nick Cage apparently says...
so is he just a big Nick Cage fan?
I don't know if he's I assume he must be, but like he just had a great idea for like a Nick Cage movie and he needed Nick Cage to be in it. Our Lord and Savior Nick, he says, I turned it down 3 or 4 times, wanted no part of it. But when he got this letter, he thought, okay, he's not just trying to mock the so-called Nick Cage. Nick Cage is very aware of the memification of his persona.
Okay.
So he's like, he didn't want to be mocked, didn't want to be taking the piss, but he did say he would never watch it because he couldn't watch like that version of himself. Just like,
is this going to be like a biography, D?
No, God, no, it's completely fictionalized.
Right.
The core concept is he's undercover going in to find like information about this like cartel guy, and then it kind of just spirals from there.
Is that where Pedro Pascal comes in? He's very
cartel-esque. Yeah. I think Pedro Pascal pays him $1 million to come to his like birthday party or something because he's a big fan, and then he gets roped into kind of like going undercover or whatever.
Oh, okay.
The trailer has a lot of like funny bits in it. Like it looks very good, and I am excited as hell. Nick Cage says, Nick Cage says that he did wind up watching it after saying he would never
trailer?
watch it. No, the movie.
The movie. Oh yeah.
Because he wanted the director's vision to be realized. You know, where like director or producers come in and they kind of like chop and change things at the end. So he says it was a trip. It was a trip to have to watch two versions of yourself acting off of each other.
Yeah.
So there's two versions of Nick Cage in this Nick Cage movie, both played by Hollywood actor Nick Cage. So yeah, I'd say it's gonna be a real laugh. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's just cool that they're doing something like this as like a big film.
This is different, yeah.
You know,
It's not even like a Netflix exclusive or anything like that. This is a big, proper Hollywood budget movie.
Like it's not like when's the last time, like the last one I can think of is like being John Malkovich, where they like had like a big actor play themselves, but like obviously a different version of themselves.
I never watched it, and I like John Malkovich.
Oh yeah, me too. That's my Nick Cage news. Really, there's a trailer
Thank you
out.
for that.
The film's coming out,
Thank you
and
for
it looks great. I can't wait.
Excellent. You got any more news for me, or?
I got a little just snippet that the latest season of Better Call Saul has been announced, coming out in April, and it's the final season of the Breaking Bad spin-off, where we will hopefully get brought up to speed, bring him into the Breaking Bad universe in full, and find out what happens.
This is their 6th season. Did you say?
Season 6, 6th and final season, which is a good number. I think
I stopped watching at season 3.
Oh man, it's so good. Like nothing major ever happens, although a couple of things do happen.
That's it. Like nothing major really happens.
But like it's still just super entertaining. It's all about the characters, which I think is a credit to the show. I can't wait. I might actually. I don't think I'll rewatch the whole show, but I would like to rewatch the whole show to get caught up and ramp into season 6.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Excellent. My little piece of news, D, comes just the news that I already told you through text, in that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now adding 48 newly remastered classic courses as paid DLC, which if you are a Mario Kart fan, this is pretty awesome. This is essentially Mario Kart 8 again. Like there's another 48 tracks coming.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no new characters, so
I don't think that then. Not buying it.
You know, but like 48 is huge. It's a massive amount of tracks.
Yeah.
And it begins on March 18th. So next week it begins. The only kind of downside, if you like, with this is that they ain't gonna release all 48 at once. They're releasing 8 tracks at a time across 6 waves throughout the course of 2022, apparently.
And do you pay 8 times or do you pay once?
No, it's a one-off payment of $22.50 sterling, or like $25, as
That's
part of
weird.
Nintendo's premium tier Switch expansion pack. I don't know what way that really works, but it's only like, it's about 20 quid. And the initial wave that's coming now on March 18th will include Coconut Mile. Remember Coconut Mile from Mario Kart Wii?
Yeah.
Choco Mountain from Mario 64 and Tokyo Blur from Mario Kart Tour.
Fun.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, I think it's gonna be awesome, because I've been saying that for ages, that I would love like more tracks in Mario Kart, and the fact that there's gonna be another 48 is ridiculous.
Do you think the fact that there's 48 indicates to me that like they might have had another game in the works, but instead of like just going Mario Kart 9 or whatever it was going to be, just take the tracks we were working on and stick them on Mario Kart 8 and keep that going for another couple of years? Because like,
yeah,
what needs changed right now? Like what needs improved?
True. Yeah, right enough. Yeah. They could have been working on another game, but I think this is like an even smarter way for them to go, because Mario Kart 8 still holds up like really, really strong in this day and age, like super strong. And if they can just continue to release like large amounts of DLC instead of releasing like Mario Kart 9 or whatever. That works just fine. Just I would much prefer though for them to release maybe like say like 12 tracks and maybe like 3 characters and like 3 carts or something.
Oh yeah.
You know, and maybe do that a couple of times and then just continue to evolve it that way.
It's weird though, because like Mario Kart 8 is an old game at this point.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was 16.
Yeah.
Well, no,
because it came out on the Wii
U.
So it's probably
that's right.
older
That's
than
right.
that.
Yeah, because Mario Kart 8 Switch is like the Switch version. Yeah, right enough. So it's a lot older than that. So right enough, yeah, maybe they were working on like another title or something. God knows at this point. But
2014, Chris, 29th of May,
Jesus.
2014. So yeah, it's 8 years old. This May.
8 years. Yeah, it still holds up well though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I love
still an
Mario
excellent
Kart.
game. I think it's interesting just that they went that way with it.
And the fact that there is now going to be, when this fully releases, 96 playable tracks in a single Mario Kart game is absurd.
Yeah, that is absurd.
I remember, like, even if you do like the full 48 track like Grand Prix, it takes you like 2 hours. So you imagine like a 4.5 hour like marathon of Mario Kart. That sounds great to me.
It does sound
I'm not
great, to
gonna
be
lie.
honest. Yeah. Do that once a year and get your fill. But how do you pick a track? Like, how you're like, what Grand Prix do you want to do?
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
I know.
I'd have like, is it 24? What's 96 divided by? You know what? Never mind. That's a lot.
So before we move on from this, because it's just a little side piece, but tell me a couple of tracks that you'd like to see come back into Mario Kart 8.
I don't even know what's missing from Mario Kart 8 at this point. If there's 48 more coming, like.
Well, tell me some of your favorite Mario Kart tracks. How about that? I have a decent knowledge of the tracks in Switch in the Switch version. I can tell you if they're there or not.
God, let me think.
Okay,
Drift King Mountain.
Oh yes, super. Peach Gardens. I really want to see. I love Peach Gardens.
Yeah.
Daisy Cruiser from the GameCube.
Yes.
Super. The Double Dash Rainbow Road, I still think is like one of the best Rainbow Roads in all of Mario Kart.
The Rainbow Road from the Wii. I don't know if it's in it already or not. I loved it.
It's not in it, I don't think.
I sat down and mastered it. I spent like a couple of days just replaying.
I remember you. Yeah.
I love that track.
And you were Funky Kong on a big bike as well.
Yeah, on the Bowser bike.
Sociopath. Dude.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. What do you call the one? Is it Mushroom City at night?
Oh, I don't like them. I don't like any of the city tracks. I don't.
It was always my fucking. Anytime I was struggling in that game and that map came up, I was like, I have a shot here. Like,
you have a shot.
Fucking love that map. I don't love
Honestly,
it, but it was just one that always kind of clicked for me.
And the GameCube Bowser's Castle, I would love to see return. It was one of my favorite Bowser Castles.
It was on the DS game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I remember playing it on the DS. Yeah, it was great.
There's a couple. The Waluigi Stadium as well would be nice if it came back. The GameCube Waluigi Stadium. There's anything from the GameCube. Double Dash is like the best. Like I think like the best Mario there's been for me. Mario Kart that would
probably be my favorite.
Oh, Delfino Square Plaza is like one of like my favorites. It's just that soundtrack, dude. It's like the Delfino soundtrack is just it's so good. So good.
The DS and the Wii era for me were like, that was peak. Like I was playing those like I played the fuck out of the DS game, and then the Wii less or so. I was like, I came back to it after a few years, and then I played it, and I was like, this game is amazing.
We have some awesome memories of playing head to head on Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah,
Maple Treeway.
Actually, one of our biggest videos on YouTube is us playing Mario Kart Wii, which you can check
competitively.
out.
Yeah, you can.
YouTube.com/Empty Promise Podcast.
Nice plug, D. Nice plug.
No worries, yeah.
Have you any more news, or do you want to move into?
Well, on that note,
topic.
If you're watching this video on YouTube, drop us a like. It's a little thumb button at the bottom. You can't dislike anymore on YouTube for whatever reason.
I know.
Might be good for us. I don't know. I don't think we were getting heavily disliked.
You can leave a dislike comment and dislike that.
Yeah, you leave a comment, say dislikes here, and people could dislike that. Please don't do that. I would prefer if If anything, leave a comment saying like this comment, and we'll like it, and we'll heart it and everything, and you'll feel great.
You feel
Also,
great about
subscribe if you want to see this. If you want to see more or hear more, obviously, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Yeah, follow, subscribe, so you can get the latest episodes as they drop. Every Monday, regular as clockwork. We never miss a week, except for the many months that we don't do it for whatever reason.
And the fact that we nearly missed this Monday.
Yeah,
but it's
we
fine.
had a good excuse this time. We always have good excuses, to be fair. See, Chris is coughing away. You can see.
Pardon
yeah.
me. Yes.
No further news, Chris, from me.
Excellent. It's slow news week, D. That's what it is. A slow news week.
There's obviously very big news happening in the world, but we'll leave that to the professionals. We're not going to try and muddy the waters with our interpretations of geopolitics and whatnot.
I tell you one thing, D. Right? From Lent has started, I have been off social media and Reddit and all forms of, like, I haven't used my phone for anything other than like a quick Google search. Or,
it's like text messages.
Yeah,
he's referring to texting.
And it's been so good, D, because right up, like, for the week or two right up until Lent, it was just all super, super heavy, like Russia, Ukraine, COVID. I can't even remember what else was going on in the world at that point.
Climate change or something, probably.
For the last couple of weeks, it's just been... I don't even know what's going on, D. I don't even know what's going on.
And you're better for it.
I'm much better for it. Yeah. This is the first today that I'll have used Reddit. And technically I'm using it on my laptop. I'm not actually using the app. So
yeah, that's a good line of separation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. I haven't been doing that. I've been usual kind of like doom scrolling on Reddit, watching nonsense and memes and bullshit like that. You know what, Chris? It's fine.
It is fine.
I'm happy to live with myself like that.
I'm happy to live with you like that too, D.
Good. You accept me for who I am, and that's all I can ask.
This week, our main topic is more of a series of questions, if you like, coming to you from the annals of Reddit. We have delved into some of the more popular and some of the I'm not going to say controversial, just some of the best Ask Reddits.
Just weird questions.
Weird questions from around the internet from the last year. So we're going to jump into those, ask each other some questions, answer them. We're going to try to answer them ourselves, and then we may jump into some of the top kind of comments and answers that have been posted online. That sound about right, D?
That's it. You just hit the nail on the head right there, Chris. Obviously, people listening, if you want to get in contact and let us know some of the answers to these questions from yourselves, or let us know how insane some of our answers are, please do.
Okay. Who wants to start? Do you want to go first, or who wants to go first?
So you're offered the ability to absorb the knowledge of any book you touch instantly, but the way it works is that time freezes and won't unfreeze until you finish reading the book cover to cover. Do you accept this power/curse? Why or why not? Okay,
so let me see if I understand this. I can completely absorb the knowledge of a book, but in order to do so, I have to read the entire book
cover to cover.
And time freezes while I do that?
Yep. So you can't resume existence until you finish the book. And it's any book you touch, intentionally or unintentionally.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would accept that 100%.
Yeah.
I can't I can't honestly see a downside of that. I mean, I'm getting to absorb this unbelievable knowledge. I'm getting a longer life because time is freezing. Is that right? Or am I continuing to live? Like, does my age pass by? Like, if I pick up, I don't know, like the Quran or something?
Yeah, like a really, really, really long book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, I think if time froze for you as well, then it's pretty OP. But if time froze but you aged while you were reading the book,
ooh,
I think that's more fair.
Okay.
Well, I would still take it. It kind of balances it a bit more. You think you'd still take it? All right, here's a scenario for you.
Okay.
right? You're walking through a library someday. I don't know why you're doing in the library, but you have reasons. People have reasons to go to the library. You're going to absorb some knowledge, and you pick up a book written in French.
Ooh.
Are you in trouble or what?
Oh dear.
Because
yeah,
now I'm
right
like,
enough.
do you gain the knowledge? You have to read it cover to cover, but you don't know how to read French. What the fuck do you do?
And can I? So if I pick up a book and it's in French and I open it, am I allowed to put that book down, go and pick up a book on learning French, quickly read that, and then go back?
I don't know. Oh my god! So you could like, I assume you're able to move whenever time freezes. So I'd say yeah, you can. But the question is now. So you've read you've yeah, you've touched a French book. Now you need to go find a French English like dictionary.
Yeah.
And then you can't go back into the first time loop until you finish that book. You could go so deep. You could forget that you're in
Bookception, D. Yeah. We're going to be way deep here.
But yeah,
okay, I can kind of see. I can see the drawbacks.
Potential downsides.
Yeah. I'm picturing myself walking through somewhere like an Eason's or a Waterstone. Is that what it's called? Waterstones, like the big bookshop.
Sure.
But I'd have to keep my hands in my pockets.
Yeah, or wear gloves probably.
Or wear gloves.
You'd look weird, but I think it'd be worth it.
What if I wanted to read the back of a book? You know.
Yeah, you're fucked. You just have to. You have to go. You have to always judge a book by its cover.
Ooh.
You could get some. You could get some fucking. You need some bad info, Chris. You could read a textbook from 100 years ago about the human anatomy that says like, just put leeches on people and they get better.
Yeah, right now.
And you're like,
common cold. You just need to insert a leech into the ear canal.
Oh, don't do that.
You know,
don't put that thought in my head, Chris.
That's strange.
Yeah, that's.
No, I still think I would take that power though, because being able to absorb that knowledge would just be super cool.
Yeah, you'd be like not a god, but you'd be a very insightful person, I think.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, because it's hard, like, reading a book, most of the time it's like you'll pick up snippets of it, but like get the whole impression, all the information contained in a book. It's hard to do, I think, one read. So yeah.
What if you had this power during the Nazi book burning era that the world went through?
Yeah, I suppose. Do you ever read Fahrenheit 451 or whatever it is?
No, actually, I haven't.
Yeah, it would be a handy talent to have in that universe where they burn books.
Okay.
Or in our potential future, Chris, when our government overlords decide that knowledge is too powerful and they destroy books and brainwash us with television and podcasts. Interestingly enough. Yeah. And now a word from our sponsor. No,
I'm a big fan of reading, D. So I think I can't understand why I wouldn't want this. What would you do? What would your answer be here? Would you also?
Yeah, I think I'd be a little bit more tentative, but I probably would wind up doing it. I just would be very careful about what I pick up, because imagine picking up a book you know you're going to hate, and you have to read it cover to cover now at this point.
Well, D, with this knowledge, with these rules, this podcast would be on hold at the minute, because I'd still be making my way through Philip Ardaz's absolutely useless book of lists.
But to me, that would be instantaneous, but it would take you a few hours, I imagine, probably longer.
That's super weird. Now, what would happen? What happens if I finish the book and next week I pick the book up again? I've already absorbed the knowledge. Do I have to read it again, or?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think that'd be fair.
One and done.
But what if it's an edition? So what if you pick up the second edition? I think you have to go again.
Goodness.
Yep.
What book? Here's a side question onto your question. What book would you purposely pick up?
Probably something on investing. Something by Warren Buffett, and then I'll see if I can make a couple of mil.
Couple of cool
go-to. In all these questions, that would be my go-to. Would be like, how can I get myself like set up for life as soon as possible, basically, and then I can worry about like reading things that I actually want to learn. The
big bumper book of brain surgery.
I've had my study guide for my Java, my coding certification here for about 2 years, and I'm about, I'd say, an eighth of the way through it. So probably good to get that read, and I can fucking get rid of that noise for another bit. But I'd probably read something, Chris, on like how to make £1 million like in a minute or something.
There's a lot of books I got nowadays. You have to be very selective.
That's it. Like,
you know?
Everybody
makes money off of this crap nowadays.
Art of War. I'd read that.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah, Sun Tzu. Yeah, I'd get all that information. That's a big book though, and I still have to read it. It's not like I just gain the knowledge. I still have to read it. So I don't know.
I would read many religious texts. I would read the Bible. I would like to read whatever the Buddha's version of the Bible is, the Quran, the whatever other religious text, and I would just know all of religion.
Yeah. So you'd be like a spiritual like shaman type for person.
Perfect. Then I'd go and live in the mountains on my own because I've got too much knowledge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. You saw enlightenment and it frightened you, so you receded into the mountains.
Writing my own book.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because you already know all that knowledge. You've already read that book because you read it. You read it as you wrote it. You're fine.
Imagine picking up a book on like sharks or something. You know,
dude. I'm just imagine picking up like the Twilight books.
Oh,
I know you have to read them all. You know, or like I don't know what's like another god awful series of books. Sure, there's loads out there.
Did you say god awful? And Twilight in the same sentence?
They're not god awful. You know what I mean? Like just like books, you're just like, I do not want to read this.
Yeah,
I've read like half the Twilight books. Don't worry, Chris. They're not god awful. Okay.
Yeah, but I just passed that episode of Parks and Rec the other day. You know, the guy wants to bury the Twilight books in the time capsule.
Dude, I seen that you were watching Parks and Rec, and it took me right back to the few weeks ago whenever I was sick, and I was like, that's exactly what I did.
It's almost the perfect show for this day.
Yeah, it's just so heartwarming and pleasant.
I'm gonna go out here, D, as well, and say this again. But every time I watch Parks and Rec, I rate it higher than The Office.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I do.
I agree. Like
I do. It's just myself and Colleen have had some big laughs, like proper laugh out loud moments, and then there's, as you say, all those like proper heartfelt, like oh my god, moments.
Yeah,
and it's just been a tremendous show. I'm thoroughly enjoying this watch through again.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I have the same opinion every time I'm watching it as well.
Good. That's a good question, D.
Thanks, Chris. I didn't. It was somebody else.
Well,
the Forever Alone one. The Forever Alone one. That's who wrote that. That's
good.
You're not gonna be not forever, sir or madam. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll bring you a question. You ready for a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which actor or actress crushed a role so hard that nobody else will be able to live up to it?
Heath Ledger, Joker.
Yeah.
Final answer. Thank you, Chris.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty iconic. Like Marlon Brando, The Godfather. The Godfather. He plays The Godfather.
Okay.
In The Godfather. Yeah. I mean, I don't see anyone ever contesting that. Like.
Yeah, true. What about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man?
I'm less convinced by that one. A lot of people
really?
On Reddit say that on the internet are like, there's just no one else who could have played him. I disagree. I think there's a lot of other people who could have played him, but just slightly differently. And the Iron Man that everyone knows and loves today just would be a different actor. Now, Tom Cruise was slated to be Iron Man way back when. Now, he would not have played it very well. I don't think that's true.
Imagine Tom Cruise in the Marvel University.
Yeah. He might be in it. There's rumors, speculation. Chris, your head was so still there for a moment as you pondered that question. Anyone watching the video version can attest this. Your head was so still, I thought the stream had frozen. I thought you were gone. The call.
It's one of my many talents, Steve.
You were so deep in thought about that possibility. It's like the stream froze. But yeah, there's rumors he might be in the Marvel, what do you call it? The Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as like a alternate universe character. So yeah, you may see him yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I disagree. I think there are other actors who could have done that role in a similar vein to what he did.
Okay.
But I agree
Now,
today, like recasting him is just not a choice. It's not an option ever for like the foreseeable future.
I seen one of the answers that came up was Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
But Batman has since been played, obviously, by Ben Affleck and now Pattinson.
Rob Battenbat.
Rob Bat. What?
Rob Pattinson, they're calling him, but then the Weekly Planet call him Rob Battenbat.
Now, I don't think that Batman could necessarily not be played by anybody else. I just think that Christian Bale did a very good job. But similarly to what you think about Iron Man, someone else could also just take a whole new spin. I think Christian Bale's work well for the Nolan
exactly
era. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because he was playing a grounded, realistic version of both Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was playing a multi-billionaire.
Yeah,
you know, who beat people up.
Exactly, because like you can be a good Batman, but you also have to be that kind of charismatic, kind of like, you know, popular, happy-go-lucky, doesn't give a fuck kind of billionaire guy persona, which he does very well. And then you have to be the third Bruce Wayne, the third character, which is Bruce Wayne, just regular, not Batman, not playboy philanthropist.
I also think he also did a great job of like expanding that story between himself and Alfred and Lucius Fox and everyone. I think Christian Bale was just that trilogy is just awesome. But I don't want to get sidetracked on that either.
We'll actually talk about that probably a little bit later, yeah.
We will indeed. Alan Rickman is Severus Snape.
Oh, that's a good one.
Isn't it?
That is a very good one. Because, at this point, I mean, difficult to imagine anyone else who could have done it the way he did it. It's just, but again, I think it's like Iron Man. It's like, it's because his performance is what you would associate as, if you're reading the books now, that's Snape, basically. The way his mannerisms, the way he speaks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so iconic.
What about John C. McGinley as Dr. Cox?
That's a good one.
Could you name another Dr. Cox?
No. Not, but again, like, I mean, there's no one who can, like, kind of rip it off. What's that? Parrot off, like, just insults and sentences and comparisons the way he does, like, and do all the little mannerisms he has. No way. There's nobody else. It would just feel forced and false from anyone else. That's an excellent shout, actually.
I'm trying to think of any more just off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of big movies. Maybe Viggo Mortensen is Aragorn. Oh, I don't know if there's... Dude, he's an awesome Aragorn. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a different Aragorn.
Yeah, that's right.
He was recast at like the 11th hour.
That's right. And it was due to his son, actually, because his son was a big fan of the books. Told him to go to the audition.
Another one, slightly older, Marty McFly as Matthew Fox. Yeah, because he was recast as well because it just wasn't working. That is like... Yeah, absolutely nailed it.
Absolutely. Yep. Truly. Anything that Christopher Lee has ever done, I think, as well.
Yeah,
Dracula. Just,
Sorrow Man.
That's pretty good. I can't. Yeah.
Any actresses? Trying to think of some actresses who kind of. Like,
I know.
Just like kind of personified a character.
What about Michael Scott?
But David Brent was the original, so it's kind of like
but I still think Steve Carell is head and shoulders. I know it's two completely different lines of comedy, but I still think Steve Carell is like head and shoulders above. Like he is epitomized Michael Scott. Like
I mean, they tried to replace him with fucking all kinds of characters when he left the show and just didn't come close. Like so. I think that's fair.
Nick Offerman is Ron Swanson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good one, actually.
Just in the vein of that comedy. I can't think of too many more off the top of my head. Actresses, though, no. Oh well, no. I was gonna say Angelina Jolie is Lara Croft, but then Alicia Vikander came along and just crushed
Video
it
game
with-
ones are tough. Like, you can't really say, like, because they change throughout time anyway. It's like saying that any of the James Bond actors is James Bond. You can't say it because it's been redefined so many times. I mean, you could possibly say the bit, like Sean Connery as, like, he created what all of the subsequent James Bonds are now, like, acting as, because he defined it as that kind of persona. But yeah, I don't know.
What about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. They're going to be waiting a long time to replace him, recast him as anything.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And here's a fantastic one from that thread, actually. Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. You know the original Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
That dude he's an incredible Willy Wonka. That's almost like he was born to play that role. Just batshit crazy.
Yeah, just nuts, but also funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
That's another good
Yeah.
one. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp as Captain Sparrow. Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes. That is a good one. Yeah, that's it, because I cannot picture Jack Sparrow being played by anybody else at this point.
No, yeah. It's just a character that is Johnny Depp, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's excellent. That's a great question.
Honestly, I can't think of like too many like female actors. Maybe
Yeah, I was just going to say the same.
maybe
Sure, there's probably a very obvious one that we're missing.
what do you call her? Ripley in Alien?
Oh,
Sigourney
shit,
Weaver?
yeah. That's actually a really good one.
But like,
Alan Ripley. Like, no, yeah, I think, like, you're right there. Because, again, it's just like, Alien was so iconic in what it was.
yeah.
Like, a horror film that, like, redefined horror. Well, actually, not redefined, but it was so different from, like, slasher horror films. Yeah. And then Aliens, where she becomes a badass. It's fucking awesome. Fucks up an alien with a mech suit. That's pretty, that's pretty fucking iconic.
I actually thought, so Arnold Schwarzenegger as Terminator, but
It's true.
a little side piece on that. Do you know who that role was originally going to go to?
Is it Dolph Lundgren or something? No.
No.
Don't tell me it's
not
fucking Tom Cruise.
No, Jesus, no. Think way outside the box.
God, Andre the Giant.
No, but not far. No, you're
Pretty
miles
far.
off.
Okay.
But O.J. Simpson.
God, that would have been unfortunate.
Wouldn't it?
The Terminator.
Yeah, I'll be back. No, you won't.
It wouldn't have been "I'll be back." It would have been "I'll be back" in an American accent.
Yeah, true.
Like,
true.
It's so wrong now when you think about it.
Yeah,
It has
be
to
back
be Schwarzenegger.
with my glove that somehow fits. I don't know. Yeah, that's a weird one, dude. Yeah, it is. It's Schwarzenegger. The role was like made for Schwarzenegger. Like, Jesus. Yeah, you could go super deep on that one. There's a lot of. You're up, D. Hit me with another one.
This one's a bit unusual. I think we mightn't have a very good answer for it, but for all the overthinkers out there, what unlikely scenario actually came true and you were completely prepared for it because you are an overthinker? So one of those things where you're like, I'll never need to know this or never need to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then lo and behold, it pops up. Has it ever happened to you, Chris?
Insuring my car? No. Has it ever happened to me?
I can only think of like small things.
I'm sure things have happened where I've been like, oh, thank God, I done X, Y, or Z. I was prepared for this. But I don't know if I've necessarily overthought the process before that.
Yeah. You're just common things. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
have you got one, or have you got like an example maybe?
I've got a very small one where it was like my old phone, like I think it was like middle of uni or maybe the end of uni, so like 5-6 years ago. It had batteries, so like you could replace batteries, and I bought a replaceable battery for it, and I kept it in my wallet because I was like, I kept a charge obviously, and I was like, you never know when you're fucking running out of battery and you absolutely need it, like, and exactly that happened because I got off the train and my battery had just been wiped. I guess I was watching a movie or something like
Wow.
that. And I had no way to ring home. Then I had my spare battery. I don't know. That's not really an overthinking thing. That's just kind of like, eventually this will be useful, and it finally was.
That's a good one.
But not many people I know carry battery packs or like a spare battery with them these days. Unless you're going like on a long trip or something, which I wasn't. I was just like, just wanted it, you know?
I'm trying to think, like, have you ever like got insurance on something? I'm desperate. Like, I never take out insurance on things that I should, you know, like a phone or a TV or a console or any kind of electricals. I never really go for the insurance. I'm like, I'm never going to need that. Like, it's fine.
It's like that time,
And then
Chris, that I didn't get the flexi fucking pass for my cinema tickets and I had to cancel.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. That decision kept him up at night.
I got some like Reddit ones, which are kind of...
Yeah, go on. Give me some of those, just so it might get the ball rolling.
Sorry. I didn't actually plan for this. It just worked out. But one day, for some reason, I put a suction cup in my pocket. I can't remember why, but it was from a shower hook that I think had broke. Put it in my pocket, hoping to find a replacement or something. Later that day, I was standing around with a few friends, and one friend was lamenting that his bumper was dented, and he showed us, and I said, I bet I could pop that right out if I had like a suction cup or something. And I wordlessly pulled out the suction cup out of my pocket, and they did it. It's like, how the fuck, like...
Yeah. What are the odds in just having a suction cup in your pocket?
When my son was a baby, we had an 11-hour flight. I, as an overthinker, brought 25 diapers with him for him to go through. He didn't need that many, but the mom sitting close to us was very grateful when she ran out of diapers, not even halfway through the flight. It's just people being prepared, Chris. I wouldn't even say that's being over-prepared, bringing 25 nappies. You never know what babies are going to do.
You don't, D. You just don't.
You do not.
Oh, it's all up their back and everything. Jeez.
Do you ever see these things where they're like, you know, you should always have spare clothes in your car because you never know when you're going to need them, and a bottle of water and all this other stuff. And I'm like, never.
I do keep a bottle of water in my car now, but that's because I always run out of fluid in my wipers, like the wiper fluid.
All right, okay. I have a bottle of water in my car all the time. That's because I haven't cleaned it in about 6 months.
True.
I wouldn't drink it, but if I absolutely had to, it's there.
I keep a blanket in the boot just in case I ever need an emergency blanket.
There you go.
It's not a very good blanket, nor is it very strong, but who knows? Someday it may come in handy. I genuinely can't think of anything, D. It's a
hard
good
one.
question.
It's a hard one to answer, I think, all on the spot.
It's a very good question.
I do like being that type of person, though. Like, I have a lot of things in my car. Like, I have like a ice scraper for cleaning ice, and I have jump leads for starting cars. I have an air compressor for blowing up tires, and I have like spare oil, spare brake fluid. I have all those things just in case like something goes wrong and I need it to get the car going again. Mm-hmm. And it's always handy whenever you're like, do you need a jump start? Yeah, no bother, I've got them right here. Oh, your car's covered in ice? Here we go, scrape it off with this bad boy. I got de-icer as well in the boot. Son. I like having shit like that, so it's like, don't worry about it, we'll sort it out. Yeah. You know, I have an additional jack so I can get the car up easy whenever I have to change a tire. Anything like that happens to me or people around me, I can
well,
help them out, Chris.
Put it like this, just to expand upon that question again. Can you name something that you've invested in or bought that you've never had to use, but it's always there just in case?
That's a good question. Smoke alarms?
Yeah, like you hope you'll never need it.
Yeah. Carbon monoxide alarms?
Carbon monoxide alarms, good one, yeah.
Security cameras?
Yeah, that's another good one.
I haven't had to use those yet, but always nice to know.
A couple of years ago, I remember the carbon monoxide alarm thing took off because there was like 3 or 4 deaths within like a couple of weeks. And everyone was like, you know you see that little stove that's behind you? Everyone said it was because of those bad boys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Possibly. We actually don't have one in here. That's a mistake on my part. It's in the kitchen, so sort that out. We have an emergency pantry now. Because after COVID, we have like 2 kilos of pasta and a kilo of rice.
There you go.
and a couple of tins and stuff.
You never know when you're going to need that, though.
Yeah, like that's when I was kind of like, that seems a little excessive, but I was like, actually, like whenever COVID initially struck, like there was no bread, there was no pasta, there was no flour, no rice,
toilet paper.
It was all just wiped off the shelves when you went shopping. So it's like, at least you wouldn't have to worry about that. I'm not necessarily thinking like that the world's going to end and there's going to be no food. I'm just more thinking.
I was going to say, yeah, you're not necessarily a preppist. Is that what they call them?
A prepper, yeah.
A preppist. Yeah, you're not necessarily a prepper, but yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of. I can't think of anything else to add to that question, D.
No worries, Chris. It's fine.
I've got a question. What improved your quality of life so much you wish you did it sooner?
Bought a dishwasher. No, I remember that like 2 years ago or 3 years ago when me and Laura first moved in, and we didn't have a dishwasher, and I was like, don't worry about it, just wash dishes in the sink. It's not a big deal. It's not a big. There's only two of us. How many dirty plates can we possibly produce?
A lot.
And 3 months later, bought a dishwasher.
Yeah,
it's just so much simpler, Chris. Just, I think I talked about this on podcast. I was like, we got a dishwasher, changed my life. Everything's better. I'm happier. I sleep better at night.
Yep.
Posture's improved. Everything's better. You know? I'm not even joking. My posture fucking improved. My back was sore from fucking. I hate being like so tall. Not so tall.
Bent over the sink.
Yeah, the sink's just a little bit too low, so you have to be in an uncomfortable position to do that shit. Like, it fucking annoys me, man.
Yeah, you got to stand like with your legs like this. Like, to get down. Like,
well, no, I'm bent. I'm bent over.
Doing the splits.
Doing that uncomfortable bend, you know. That was one example, Chris. One example.
No, I understand that. I personally am a fan of washing dishes. Not a fan, but
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like when you're cooking and you have a dirty, say, pot. I would prefer to take that to the sink and wash that.
Yes.
Have it clean and good to go before I finish with the meal.
Yeah, exactly.
But usually it's for whenever I finish the meal. And like, I'm about to serve dinner, so I'm gonna go eat my food and leave that pot, and I'll just I'll seep it in some warm water and deal with it later. When I deal with it later, I just stick it in the dishwasher now rather than have to clean it. And that's like, it's just a little thing, man.
Yeah,
it's just a little thing. Makes everything better.
I'm trying to think what else. Have you got anything else?
This one might apply to you because I remember you did this a while ago. It was actually you inspired me to do this. A new mattress.
Yes.
Memory foam or a mixed foam mattress. Yeah, that improved.
What one did you go? What mattress did you end up going for?
Oh, Casper. That's what it was. It was
Casper. There's so many names on mattresses nowadays.
The one you went for was a slightly higher tier one. I remember that, and I was like, you know what? I fucking can't justify the price. I'm just gonna go for.
That's right. Yeah, I went for the Emma mattress at the time because it had some ridiculous sale on, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll take this now, and that'll be it done. And then I seen the Simba mattresses, which are just extortionate. But part of me wonders why they're extortionate.
Need to try.
Why are they so good? Man. Yeah,
that was a pretty big one for me. You know the biggest thing for me though, and it's not really something that I did, but it's something that happened because of the pandemic.
What's that?
Working from home.
Yeah.
Life work balance improved drastically. My sleep improved drastically. Just everything was slightly better.
I can imagine so, D. That's huge. That's a huge one. For me, I have a couple. The first one being home gym.
Oh yeah.
Just like I remember hearing a lot of people say like, oh, if you have a home gym, you'll just get super like not even sick of using it, but the appeal won't be there as much anymore. You know, it'll be like, oh, I'll just get round to it. It's always there, that kind of thing. But mine went the exact opposite way, so much so that I built my business from it.
I mean, yeah. So. Calling yours a home gym seems like a disservice to what you've actually built, because like your home gym is like, it would rival many gyms, many full form like gymnasiums.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Like yours
But
is insane. Like
that to me is a massive improvement in quality of life, because even sometimes I get to the point where if I have to purchase a new piece of equipment and I'm like, don't know if I can justify that price, because gym equipment is super dear, and I'm like, I don't know if I can justify that, but realistically that's an investment now for God knows how long, and into your health as well, because you're going to use it to ultimately get fitter and get stronger or healthy or whatever. So home gym is definitely one of mine. The second one, huge one, that Colin and I actually invested in a couple of months ago was a tumble dryer.
Oh yeah, okay.
Dude, a tumble dryer it's been the game changer.
Yeah.
It's the game changer. See, when you can just take out a load of washing and just throw it into the tumble dryer and just not worry about it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's instead of like having to hang them all up on like maybe radiators, block off some of your heat, or maybe wonder like, is it gonna rain? Can I put these outside, or hang them on like a clothes horse and wait for them to dry? See, I can just chuck something into a tumble dryer and it's like ready in like 40 minutes. Dude, that is a quality of life changer.
It's
right
the
there.
exact same thing as the dishwasher for me. Like that's exactly what you're describing. It's like, it's just, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Even if it's not physically and like that much of a time sink, not much work. It's just, you don't have to think about it now. You just chuck it in and you're done. Come back to it in a couple of hours and you got clean dry clothes, you got clean plates. Yeah. That's something I would like to invest in, but our electricity bills are extortionate. I can't believe.
Dude, this is the thing, right? So beforehand we were talking about it, and we had always heard of people being like, oh, your tumble dryer their meter will just be whoot, whoot, whoot. Genuinely, like, the kettle is way worse than the tumble dryer.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders worse. The tumble dryer has barely scraped it.
Well,
like, I'm serious. They're pretty efficient things nowadays,
I imagine they probably are. Yeah, probably
they're
basing
nowhere
that
near
off
as
of like
bad
30 years ago, whenever it was just like a fucking...
You plug it in, the meter is just like... No, it's not like that.
That's something we should invest in, because like that's the being of our existence. Is like, it's wonderful. Laura will tell you, oh, I put a wash on there, and that's great. But I know she's telling me that because I put the wash on. I did the hard work. You can put it out now.
You can put it out. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not how this works. No. The hard part is putting it out. Thank you very much.
Whereas if you can just lift that straight out of one machine straight into another.
We had in our last apartment, we had a fucking combo. So it was a wash machine dryer combination.
I've always wondered how they work.
Yeah. Perfectly fine as a wash machine, but just not very good as a dryer, basically.
I thought that something has to give there, like something has to lack.
I think really the idea behind it was like, it'll just bring your clothes out not like damp,
but
you still have to air them out, basically, or else they will not get fully dry.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we were using it right, or maybe it was just a bad model. But for me, that just was not working.
Yeah. I hope that somebody around the world somewhere has tuned into just the last 2 or 3 minutes of the podcast. I mean, like, these guys are super exciting. You know, they're young, they're trendy, they keep up with what's going on, and they're like, yeah, the energy efficiency of our tumble dryer. I actually have one more that I want to comment on that it's kind of been like a running joke for me and my family and whatever for the last couple of weeks, but I think it's an improvement of quality of life, so I'm just going to throw it out there. A butter dish.
Okay.
Big one, D. Big one. If you can no longer have your butter in the stupid little, like, I'm talking block butter.
Oh,
good
yeah.
butter.
Yeah,
no longer in like a stupid little plastic, whatever it comes in, or foil. And you can set it into a dish and you can take it out of the fridge maybe and leave it out a little bit and not have to worry about it. And you're just guaranteed nice, delicious, soft butter all the time.
That's the key, is the soft butter part.
Soft butter. Yeah, I don't want to be hacking through a block of butter to try to put it on a nice soft bread.
Yeah, because I'm just
going to destroy the bread.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we don't use butter or bread frequently enough, I think, to justify it. I know it's like, how much? Like £5 for a butter dish. It's not that much. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's like something we just don't really bother with. And we use spread mainly because we're heathens and don't care about quality. But anytime I was going
to say, if you go home or if you go to someone else's house where they have butter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was I was
you go.
about to say. Anytime I go home, I will eat
Yeah.
copious amounts of bread and butter because it's so much nicer when it's like, obviously mummy gets nice fresh bread as well, and then the butter sitting
Yeah.
in the butter
Buttered dish.
dish. I was going to say a butter cup, and I was like, that's a flower, James, you idiot.
The butter receptacle.
Yeah, the butter apparatus, and it just goes on so smooth, and it just tastes delicious. Nice room temperature butter is the best way to have butter.
I wholeheartedly
Not
agree
many
with that
things,
one, dude.
Chris, you'd want at room temperature, but butter's one of them. There's a Ask Reddit question for you. What things are good at room temperature? Water,
No. No.
beer.
No. It depends. No. I think. No. Let's get off that one.
No.
Right, have you got another question for me?
Have I? Let me see. Oh, this is a good one. What are you the 1% of?
Oh, dude, I that was my next question.
Oh,
okay,
man,
I can get rid
okay.
of, I
That's
can get rid of
still
that one. What am I the 1% of?
So what's the thing in your life that you are like, you know you're doing that barely anyone else in the world is doing, and you're the top 1% of? Just one, or not top, just 1% of. Doesn't have to be a good thing.
No, I know. I don't know if it would be 1%, but I'm definitely part of the percent that believes that pineapple is fine on pizza. Do
Yeah, I think it's a lot more than 1%.
you think?
I think it might be a majority think pineapple is fine on pizza.
Do you think so?
Because I think the people I think it's a vocal minority, myself included, who say pineapple does not belong on pizza. But like, if you ask me if I think it's fine on pizza, I'd be like, it's fine for you to put it on pizza, but I don't like it personally.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What am I the 1% of?
I know for a fact I'm 1% of the people who listen to a particular artist on Spotify, thanks to their whole fucking thing they did at
True,
the end
actually,
of the year.
yeah. I could be, the Spotify Wrapped. I think I could be that too as well, actually.
Lana
I
Ryan.
listen. Lana Ryan.
She does there's like one song I listen to over and over again. It's not over and over again, but it's in my rotation. It's called, oh god, what is it called? It's from Minecraft, Chris, because I'm a fucking nerd.
I love it.
It's an excellent
I love
song, actually. That's why I'm the 1% of that.
God, that's such a good question. 1%.
I'd say I'm in the 1% of how I like to play my Xbox. I have a very unique setup, Chris.
Okay, do tell.
In that I have it here on my desk, my PC desk, so I like to play it. I got a nice chair here. It's a good setup. It's a warm room, okay? I like to play it on my PC, but because obviously I got two monitors and both of them are connected to the computer, I have a little HDMI splitter. So
Yeah.
I flick, one of the monitors becomes the Xbox screen.
Yeah.
But now for sound, I prefer it through my headset rather than out of the speakers. So for sound, I can either plug in a headset to the Xbox controller. But then I don't like the fact that if I wanted to have like a YouTube video playing while I'm waiting for like a game to load, I can't hear that because I'm listening to only the Xbox. So I go onto my computer and I stream the Xbox, which is right in front of me, which is, physically about 2 feet away from the computer. I stream it over the network, over the internet to my PC so I can hear the game. So I put my computer headset on so I can hear my computer and I can hear the game that's streamed, and then I flick over the little HDMI switch so I'm watching the direct output of the console.
Jesus, dude.
And I do that, Chris, so that I can be fucking weird, basically.
Look, you like what you like, D.
I do like what I like. And it's harder to do it this way, all right? All right,
Yeah,
it's a more difficult setup, but I like it. And then if Laura's playing a game and she wants me to jump on the Discord call, I can do that, Chris. That's not a problem because I'm on the computer. It's a beautiful system that works most of the time. 1%. Anyone else who's doing something like me, let me know. Out of the 30 people who listen to this, if there's even one, I'll take it. That's more than 1%. But
Such a good question, though, dude. 1%. I don't know if I'm even in a minority. I most certainly am in some things, but I just can't think of them now off the top of my head.
Here's some examples maybe that might.
Yeah, go on.
According to my smartwatch, I'm in the top 1% of step count in the past 7 days. Do you think you'd hit that? Do you be stepping much?
No. So little. I mean, I think I'm in the top 1% of maybe total steps taken on any one day.
There you go.
When I did the 100-mile, I hit just over 250,000 steps.
Dude, you're probably in the 1% of people who ran 100 miles. I doubt 1% of the population has done that.
That's true, actually. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Okay, I'll take that. I'm gonna take that, even if that's not true. I'm in the 1%.
Here's a guy says, I am the seventh generation in my family with the same name. Legally, I have to end my name with a VII. So he's long lifeguard, the seventh. Probably not a lot of those.
No.
If you're a pilot, about 0.01% of the population has a pilot's license. If you're a pilot.
I'm in a percent, I don't know what it is, that believes that ketchup belongs in the fridge.
Ooh. That's it. Ooh, really? Cold ketchup?
Yes, cold ketchup with fresh cooked chips.
I think that's...
And here's me saying last week that I don't believe the hot cold thing works, but this is different.
I tell you what,
that's very good.
Ketchup's one of the things that belongs at room temperature. Put it in with the butter, Chris.
Oh no,
yeah.
No.
Chocolate.
No.
As well.
Chocolate belongs in the fridge.
No, certain types of chocolate. You wouldn't put a Yorkie. You wouldn't put a Yorkie in the fridge. You're gonna break a
unless you want to kill someone.
Yeah, exactly. Knock him over the head with it. But you put finer chocolate in the fridge.
Like do you mean like thinner? Well, you see, I don't know, because I would put like the original dairy milk in the fridge.
Yeah, it's a bit chunky. I don't know. I wouldn't go with that. I'd put do you know them, what do you call them, children's bars, the thin chocolate
bars?
Yeah,
they're I know what you're talking about.
Put those in the fridge. I like the snap. I like the
snap.
I like
exactly.
The noise, basically, is what happens.
Oh, chocolate in the fridge is I'm a believer.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these are very long. I'm allergic to extreme temperatures. Taking a hot shower or touching an ice cube will give me hives. 1% of the population.
Strange.
Type 1 diabetes. If you have type 1 diabetes, you are top 1%.
I'm at a percentage of people who don't like baths.
That's interesting.
Don't understand them. Don't really get them. I had a bath during the weekday.
Don't understand them?
No, I just...
What's to get, Chris? Sit in some hot water?
Yeah, I don't really like it, D. I don't. I last had a bath the day after I did the 100. And I was like, it's going to be nice. We'll put salts in. It'll relax my legs, blah, blah, blah. And I sat in, D, for about 15 minutes that day. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
And got out. I was like, that's fine. And then the other night, I was like, I'm super, I was just sore and whatever. It's like a bath, heat me up. Same thing. I lasted maybe 10, 15 minutes and I was like, is this it? Is this how you have a bath? Am I done? Bath? Do I get out now? And I was just not a fan.
Would you sit in a sauna or a steam room for 15
minutes?
Yeah.
Happily.
That's strange.
I just don't like baths, I don't think.
I like a good bath. Typically for a good bath, I'd be in it for a good 40 minutes, but
I would like that. I would like to be able to enjoy a bath again.
I even tried putting on Office or something.
That's it. I even tried putting on a gameplay video on YouTube. I tried watching it. I couldn't concentrate. I was like, God, I'm too warm.
I'm wet.
I left my arms out. Now I'm too cold.
Yeah.
There's no happy medium. No, I wasn't a fan.
I like a bath with a good podcast.
Let
us know if you're listening to this podcast in the bath.
Yeah, maybe wait until you're out of the bath and then let us know, because I think it's a bit weird. But yeah,
I'm cool with it either way.
Yeah,
let me know.
That's a good question.
If you're in the bath right now, leave a comment immediately. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question.
I wish there was a more interesting example of what I'm the 1% of.
I know.
I've got a weird setup. That's it. sure there's other shit too. Like,
I don't even think that's a small percentage. I don't. I'm just looking around to see if anything kind of springs to mind.
let us know your answers, folks. You think more than 1% of the population have a podcast? Actually, it's a good example.
I was thinking that. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think there'd be. No, I don't think 1% of people have a podcast. I know a lot of people have podcasts, but 1%.
Podcasts are popular nowadays, D.
What's 1% of 7 billion? Like 700 million?
Is it?
No, it's too high, isn't it? It's like
Yes, way too high. Is it
seven,
not like
7 billion is 1,000 million. A
Is it
billion,
not like 1,000?
yeah,
No?
a billion is 1,000 million. So 1%.
Would be 7,000?
No, it's like
70,000?
1,000 million.
700,000?
One. God, I'm just gonna Google it, man.
It's 7 something.
1% of 7 billion is 70 million. Yeah.
70 million.
So 70 million people have to have a podcast. More than
Okay,
70
there's
million.
definitely there's not 70 million podcasts, I don't think.
We made it. We're top 1. Top 1%. Get in.
Yay.
I'm gonna Google how many podcasts are there. We'll shatter our dreams right in front of our eyes. Oh, not even 1 million, Chris, active podcasts at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, 850,000 according to neilschiffer.com 2021.
Okay, well I would agree with that. That seems accurate.
When you put it in context of like you need 70 million other people to do it, you're probably in the top 1% of a lot of things you don't realize.
True, actually.
Pretty wild.
I'm probably in the top 1% of people that believe that Osama bin Laden is still alive.
I probably agree with that. You probably are.
Yeah.
Being Irish. You just
Right
did it.
enough, yeah.
Top 1% of the world, obviously, not top 1% of Irish people, because it's not how it works. Yeah.
Okay, I've got another question for you here. I don't know how many more of these you want to do.
I only have like one more good one.
Okay, I've got one more here. What has no reason to exist in 2022 and yet it still does?
Fax machines.
Oh, dude, do you know that there's... I was talking to a client of mine who works with computers, and he says that there's still companies that he goes to that are still using fax machines.
Yeah. And like in the critical path too, like not just like someone will use a fax machine. It's like they
use it for day to day.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what's even more bizarre? The fact that they have to keep, not that they have to keep, but there is a paper supply company still open for these people because they need, the printer or the fax paper. What's it called? With all the dots down the side of it. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
So there's a single supply line still open with a paper company just producing this fax paper for these people.
I would not want to be that paper company, let me tell you. Dunder Mifflin paper company, no way.
That's crazy. But that's definitely one.
I mean, like in a more like kind of, humanitarian answer, it's like probably hunger probably shouldn't exist. I think.
Yeah, hunger.
I feel like we definitely have the resources to not have that happen, but it's just not managed that way.
Yeah.
The world just does not work that way.
But these questions aren't about the proper humanitarian response. These are funny questions.
Funny questions.
Flat earthers.
That's fair. It's pretty crazy that's more popular now than it was probably like 100 years ago. I still can't, no matter how much I try to get on board with, maybe they have something here. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
And I can't understand why they're so, what's that word? Hostile.
Yeah.
Whenever people point out that they're wrong.
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but you're wrong. Yeah. That's it.
But all the evidence points to that they are wrong. we've seen the curvature of the Earth. We've seen how the Earth works. We've seen how
Chris, you are drinking the Kool-Aid if you believe all of that. Do you believe pictures? Chris, you're too far gone. Obviously fakes, obviously, doctored. No, we should do a podcast on flat earthers if we haven't already. Maybe we have. I haven't.
That'd be super. I actually think I know a flat earther. Well, I follow a flat earther who would be willing to come on to the podcast as well and give their.
I think we've talked about this before, actually. Yeah.
And I don't want them to come on just so we can kind of shit all over them. I would be genuinely curious to hear their beliefs.
Yeah.
And why they believe it is the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's truly fascinating to me that people actually believe that the Earth is flat. I can't even say it without laughing because I'm like, we just got to fall off it.
I read an interesting thing about this once. So it was like those groups aren't so much about like we just don't believe all of the facts and the evidence, etc. It's more about they don't trust the people. They just don't trust authorities. So they don't trust people like NASA who say, "Here's the evidence." They're like. They don't trust that, and they don't trust that like governments and like big bodies, shit like that, are trustworthy. Like, so you can't believe what they tell you, basically. And so it's better to do it on your own and to group together and to these little communities, and then it becomes an echo chamber, obviously. And it's like, I don't know, but that would be interesting to get into the mindset. Not so much because you could shit on flat earthers all day, and it's been done countless times. It might be more interesting to find out what the mindset is, and
here's one: charges for using your card at a hole in the wall or at a card machine.
Oh yeah, which are actually
why is that
going up?
Yeah, why do you charge me my own money to look and access my own money?
Yeah, banking, man. That's what it's all about.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah,
and then there's fees for not having that money.
Yeah.
So how that baffles me. It's like we're just going to charge you for not having enough money. We know you don't have the money to pay for the charge because you don't have enough money. Mm-hmm. But here's £15. You owe us. It's like fuck me. Like just don't give the money out. Right? It's like I tried to buy something, didn't have the money. Done. Yeah, it's fine. You didn't have the money. It's fine. No, you didn't have the money, so we're going to reject your payment, and you owe us £15. Banks are the worst, man.
Subscription services as well, maybe. Everything is subscription nowadays. Everything.
Yeah.
Nearly everything.
I mean,
I understand how some things can be helpful, but like everything is like subscription. Like here's this monster you bought from Tesco last week. Subscribe to getting 6 of them a month for the rest of your life and you can save 40p. And it's like, well, I don't need that. I just want
the one.
A one-off monster,
Yeah. It's because like
crazy.
It's guaranteed income for like the people selling it, and then they can offer it slightly cheaper, so everyone thinks they're winning. But yeah, obviously it's not. Some things you just need to pay, like
one-off payment, one-off purchase.
I just need this one thing, and I want it for forever. Just let me buy. I'll give you money for it. They're like, no, it's fine. We'll cut the price way down to 10%. Just give us it every month. You're like, but I don't know. It's not what we want to do. It's like Peloton. Didn't they do that? Where it's like you buy the hardware, buy the Peloton bike, but you have to pay for the subscription for it to continue working. It's like
that's why Peloton like last year, the year before, recorded their like most dramatic losses ever. They were so close to going out of business. Like they were they were giving Peloton bikes away. Yeah. It was crazy. Like,
but that's how it works. It's like Same with like PlayStations and Xboxes. It's like they make those things at a loss just to get them out the door, so you'll buy them, and then now you're gonna buy more PlayStation games and PlayStation accessories and shit.
Subscriptions to
online.
I had another one there. Yeah, a lot of the way that the Catholic Church still thinks as well. Why it's still a thing in like for example, priests not being allowed to marry. Just a lot of their very rigid set rules, and they're wondering why the church is dying. Like you kind of need to go with the times.
It's because
I'm not a huge believer in like always having to go with the times. I'm not stuck in my ways or anything, but there's certain things that I believe don't necessarily need to change. But this is one of them that does.
Yeah.
Like unless you want there to be no priests,
going about it the right way.
Yeah, that's definitely one. Child beauty pageants as well.
Yeah, it's fucking.
That was
weird.
a big answer. That was a big. That's super weird. What's weirder is that there's the pushy parents.
Child labor in general. Like, I don't know if you consider that child labor, but like it's basically using a child to make money.
Yeah.
Whether it's through advertisements or beauty pageants, or if it's literally just like putting them in a fucking sweatshop, like, because
there's definitely stuff that I've seen and I've been like, why is that still a thing? And it's like, because that's the way it's always been done.
That's the way my mother did it, and that's the way her mother did it, and that's the way I'm gonna do it, and you'll fucking do it too. You understand? My experience.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got.
All right. I got one more.
Yeah, go on.
If you can go back 100,000 years in the past to a cave that will be discovered by archaeologists, what do you write in the wall to mess with them?
To mess with them?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to mess with them, Chris. You could write useful instructions if you want, but it's still got to freak them the fuck out.
True. 100,000 years in the past, so literally no big event has happened.
Yeah. I don't really think modern humans are, like, humans aren't even about, really, right?
No.
But the caves are.
To mess with them.
I'd write Epstein didn't kill himself. That's what I'd write. And they'd be like, what? And then it finally happens. It's like, holy shit. Conspiracy.
Yeah. I'd be like, fuck, that's so weird. You could put so much. I don't know if it would mess with people, but you could, like, yeah, there's no point in trying to be cryptic with it.
I mean, no, I think that would be good.
You think so?
Really cryptic code. Oh my god, you could really think it out and be like, certain parts of it like only make sense after like a big event happens, like something to do with like say 9/11.
Well, that's it. That's like, well, that's what I'm thinking. Isn't that? This is kind of like Nostradamus. Like a lot of his shit, you know, like east and west, two pillars and all this kind of stuff will fall. It's very generic stuff, but because we kind of associate it with
things that actually happened,
things that have happened. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like I'd put like a code, like and like a encoded message. I don't know. Maybe it would just be like dick butt, something stupid like that. But I'd have it like coded so that you can only work it out as certain events happen over time. It's like something to do with JFK, something to do with 9/11, something to do with COVID, you know. And then it all unlocks and you're like, I finally cracked the code. It's just like dick butt.
Dick butt, yeah.
Dick butt.
Like, what does it mean?
What does it mean? There's more to the code.
I would put the Swiss stack doesn't hang around forever.
Get on that. Jesus Christ.
God, the Swiss stack was so good, dude.
Oh,
I missed the Swiss stack.
Well, does it not come back every so often? You can never have it again anyway.
I can never have it again.
Unless they do a vegan version, which they might. You never know. You could
Titanic didn't kill himself.
Titanic didn't kill him. Titanic.
People would be like, "What is Titanic?"
Here's a good one. Pictures of dinosaurs and humans interacting. Pyramids working as spaceships. Accurate renditions of deep sea animals.
Jeez, that'd be super weird, dude.
The ancient aliens thing would just go to the whole next level.
Fuck. Do you know, this is a little bit weird, but just when you say like deep sea animals, do you know that someone has been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench?
Someone?
Yeah, there was a person in a submersible has been down to the bottom. I'll bring this as news next week if you want, just so I can tell you a little bit more about it. But yeah, a person has gone 7 miles below the Earth's like sea level.
Yeah,
that's
insane. Surface, yeah.
Isn't it?
I didn't think you could survive that level of pressure.
Neither did I. Yeah, there's one man in a submersible has been down to the bed, the deep sea bed,
came
where
back
it's
up.
Complete blackness. Do you know what's down there, D? There's fucking life down there.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of unknown life.
Dude,
about.
7 miles down, there's still life going on. Like,
did I tell you about that film Underwater that we watched?
No.
Well, it's set in the Mariana Trench, 7 miles underwater, and it's a semi-horror, Chris. You mentioned thalassophobia on this podcast a few times before.
Oh, I have, yeah.
If you are in any way
Thalassophobic,
yeah. Well, I mean, this movie's not for you.
Really?
Pretty good film though. I would recommend checking it out. Particularly, like they do things like related to the pressure of that like environment really well, and like it's kind of very believable, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
Until the philosophobic elements come in which case it's less believable, but still pretty fucking pretty good.
Ooh.
Let's check that out.
Okay.
Let's jot that down.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything more to add to that.
There's a lot you could do. There's a lot you could do. But I like the idea of just a very complex code that requires time to pass before you solve it, and then it's just nonsense at the end.
I'm telling you, you got to warn people about the Swiss stack. You got to warn them. or double decadence. It won't be around forever.
I wonder how it would change. You could change the entire world by writing something like JFK will be assassinated at this time, this place. Don't let it happen.
Proper butterfly effect, like that would be super weird.
Then
JFK.
Then you might not ever be born to go back to do.
This is Hitler paradox.
Not happening.
All over. Oh.
Not happening.
God.
All right.
Nope.
Let's move on before I have.
Let's move on. That's right. Yeah. What do you want to talk? You want to jump into our weeks?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I want to start with specifically the Batman.
Yes, please do.
So I went to see the Batman actually right after we wrapped the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Headed to view it at our local Cinemadrome.
Where did you go to see it?
Lisburn,
Okay.
Omniplex, which very strange, Chris. It's completely like not automated, but like you book your tickets at a screen. So you walk in and go to like one of the touch screens to book your tickets, and then you order your food while you're there at that. Or there's other like just random like kind of McDonald's type things where there's these touchscreens are just sitting about, and you can order your food at those. It prints out a receipt with a barcode. You take that up, they scan it, and then they get your food. It's very weird. It's like
That's strange.
It's like they've tried to go completely non-contact, I think. But there's still people working everywhere. Like there's still people standing there telling you how to book your tickets rather than if you just got them to give you your ticket when you're at the counter.
Fair.
I guess it helps because we were able to pre-book everything, food and all, so we just walked in, scanned, up to the counter, scanned, and everything was handed to us, and away we went.
Tell me first of all about your food experience. I want to know, because when I hear about a cinema experience, I like to know the full works. So you get there. Is this an evening showing? Is it a midday showing?
It's an evening showing, Chris. Right, 7 o'clock, 7:45. Now,
and this is a big film, D. This is a late
Chris,
one.
This is a big film, 3 hours long.
Jeepers.
And so obviously being that long, they can't do repeated showings. So like after 6 o'clock, there's one more showing of this film, and that's it.
Yeah.
They had 12. They had 12 showings that evening. They had 12 screens, all of them Batman. No, maybe not 12. Maybe there's 12 total in the cinema. There's like 12 or 14 screens total in the cinema, and all but like 2 of them were Batman.
Jeepers.
Batman. I was actually so shocked. And all of them were
Holy
filling
Moses.
up like.
That's what I mean. Like they obviously put that on because they know they're going to get the numbers.
Yep.
That's
Big
a lot
numbers.
of Batman.
A lot.
I suppose that was opening weekend for it here too. So
it was, yeah. To be fair.
Okay, so go on.
So yeah, we walked in, just scanned our tickets, very handy. Up to the counter, scanned that, got our popcorn, got our drinks. Boom, straight into the cinema screen. Took our seats. We're good to go. Couple next to us have nachos. So back out of our seats, back down into the foyer, up to the screen, and we got ourselves some nachos because all of a sudden we have to have nachos. Weird, excellent. Chris. So you order your nachos with your dip. Obviously got the cheese, the nacho cheese, but it was in a little like, what do you call it?
Like a little pot, a little plastic dish.
Yeah, a little pot. Yeah. I wanted like over the nachos, like
over
like how you'd expect it.
Yeah.
So we were dipping our nachos, and it just kind of didn't complete the experience for me.
Did you? You should have just opened the cheese and poured.
No, because it was a dip. It wasn't liquefied, like melted, because it wasn't coming straight out hot. You know the way you'd expect it. It was a dip. It was like, you know.
That's right. Omniplex recently changed their nachos, so they must have done away with that like fake plastic cheese,
which is what I was craving. Yeah. It was a kind of spicy cheese, which was nice.
It's a chili cheese, yeah.
I wanted to just layer it over the thing, but it's fine. I'm not gonna work up too much about this, Chris. Okay, the nachos were subpar. That's all I'm gonna say.
Did you get popcorn?
We got popcorn, yeah.
Okay, good.
What's sweet?
And what drink?
Coke Zero or Pepsi Max, whatever. No, it was Coke Zero.
Yeah, it's Coke. Omniplex is a Coke franchise.
It's a Coke. Yeah, we're a Coke family. Okay,
we're a Coke family
over here. That always annoyed me that you can't have both.
No,
it's like
you can't.
So stupid.
I remember whenever I worked in KFC and they made the switch shortly before I left, and KFC were always a Coke. So they had the Coke, they had the Sprite, Fanta, Coke Zero, and Diet Coke, and then they made the switch because I don't know, they must something exchanged hands, and then I had Pepsi Max, Club Orange, 7-Up.
Yeah.
Which is, dude, like they're similar, but they're so far apart. It's crazy.
People were not happy.
I'm a Sprite fan. I'm a Sprite man myself.
And we
Sprite,
talked about this during the week. Yeah. I'm not fussed on the lemon lime beverages full stop. So you can have your Sprite, your 7-Up. Doesn't bother me.
Sorry, get back to your Batman. Tell me this, was there an intermission? No
intermission. So
is intermissions a thing of the past in movies?
Yes,
yeah?
they are gone. I'm sad to see them gone.
I'm sad to see it gone, dude.
Some films
I've only ever been to one movie in my whole lifetime that had an intermission.
Yep. What was it?
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yep, Harry Potter. Chamber of Secrets for me.
Wow. And do you know what? Was so fucking stupid? And looking at it now, it's so stupid. They took the intermission right before Harry meets Voldemort, at the very end.
Oh yeah, there's like half an hour left.
If even, dude, there were probably 15 minutes left, and they were like, "Time for an intermission."
It's because
it's like, go and get some more snacks. The whole shop's closed.
Exactly. Yeah. It's because they were trying to sell more food and drinks and stuff, and that was it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I guess it's because now they just have to it's just throughput. They have to show the film so many times to make their money. It's like not worth it doing an intermission, which I do miss. This movie definitely could have used one, just to break it up.
Right now, give me your thoughts on the Batman.
Well, I will say I prepared. I limited my fluid intake, Chris, because I was not going to miss a second of this film. I was very excited for this film.
Yeah.
And like straight up initial take, it completely delivered in basically every single way. I loved it. Excellent film. Very good. Good. I would recommend it thoroughly to anyone who likes Batman. And
I'm hearing quite positive things.
Yeah. Not unanimously positive. No. I can't understand that, but
the whole take on it and his kind of emo Batman outlook is supposed to be refreshing.
Yeah. It's a very different take compared to the Dark Knight, and just completely different from the fucking Batman v Superman kind of version that we had. So I'd say if you're a fan of Batman, definitely see it. I think you'll enjoy it regardless. And I think if you're a fan of Marvel MCU movies, it's probably not your pick. It's not that style at all, and I'm thrilled about that because God, the Marvel films, though there's rarely a bad one. Out of all of the Marvel films, there's barely any ones that aren't good. They're just so samey in a way.
Samey, that's it. They just all follow the same bread and butter. What works.
And obviously the specifics, the actual characters and events are different, but it's the same kind of mold, we'll say. Yeah. This is completely different, Chris. This is basically Batman mixed with the film Seven. And
Jesus.
What's the other one? God, what do you call that guy? It's a serial killer. What do you call that serial killer out in America? There's a film with it. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Zodiac. It's mixed with Zodiac, Seven, Batman. It's a dark film. It's brooding. It's intense, and I've
heard that the rating should have been lifted another one in this movie.
It should have been 16 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something like that, like whatever way it works here. It's like 12A or something here, and it should have been lifted to like a 15. It's 15 in the Republic, but not in
Not here.
the UK.
I don't know what it is here, but yeah, like it's definitely not for kids, basically. And I think it's all the better for it. It's really dark, like gruesome at times, like, and properly scary at times, like full on, like kind of like you'll jump maybe. You'll jump.
Okay.
You'll jump maybe. It depends if that's the type of like person you are watching horror films. Like, yeah, you'll jump.
Am I right in saying Colin Farrell is in this movie?
Colin Farrell is unrecognizable. As
I was going to say, is he? Yeah, okay.
Insane job that they've done, but really good. Like a believable character person, not like a man in prosthetics at all. But star of the show is Robert Pattinson as Batman. I mean,
really,
yeah. As Batman, he is, he's insanely good. He's better than Bale's Batman, in my opinion. Just as like a crime fighting kind of like slightly out of it human being, like a person who is just on the on the warpath, like out for justice, out for vengeance.
Okay.
He's a demon.
Okay.
He's a demon in this movie, Chris. Anytime you see him coming, you are like, this guy is about to like
just level someone,
wreck people, yeah. And
okay.
like they do that element so well, like the fear of Batman, like he is a force to be reckoned with. You know, the criminals of Gotham, like they pause,
fear him
when they see the bat signal go up. They pause and they're like they're looking in the shadows. They're wondering, where is he? Is he coming for me?
Okay.
And then when he does like encounter criminals and has to put them down, like he is gruesome, like holds nothing back.
Oh, okay. This everything you're describing sounds good to me.
Yeah,
that's great to me.
Yeah, so it's really intense that way. And then there's a murder mystery in the middle of it all. The detective work from Batman, which you very rarely see, is quite good, I'd say. And he works with the police. Like there's interaction there, which is really good. Him and Jim Gordon, excellent chemistry.
Who's Jim Gordon played by in this one?
Oh God, what's his name? You'll know him.
I do know this, yeah, because I remember reading it.
Jeffrey Wright, I think it is.
This is a strange Jim Gordon.
Yeah. What is his name? Jeffrey Wright, yeah, it is Jeffrey Wright. So he's in things like he's in a lot of things. In the Hunger Games, he's in Westworld. Yeah, you'll know him. He's got a really iconic voice, and he's a very like neo-noir Gordon, just a kind of
yes. I have a picture of him here, and I'm looking at him. Yeah,
just a detective doing what he needs to do to get the job done. And he's one of the few people who like gives Batman the time of day and lets him in to the crime scenes and will work with him. They have a very good relationship in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other kind of like just standout for me, and I was so impressed, is Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman.
Really?
Just was not expecting the character to be that good, to be honest.
Okay.
Was expecting Catwoman to be kind of like, a little bit cheesy nearly, like a little bit out of place in a real world Batman.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, really good. And like integrates with the story like so well. Just very good performance from them. So yeah, those like they're all like really solid. And then the villain is the Riddler, who you wouldn't expect to be.
I'm honestly not a fan of that actor, Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Paul Dano. I'm not a fan of his at all. I don't like him.
I think he's pretty good in this. Although I think if you don't like him, you probably won't love him in this either. Because he's very Paul Dano in it, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
But I think he is very good. And like as a villain, the Riddler is just like a proper villain for once. Like he is scary. He is a threat. And yeah, it just works so fucking well, man. And there are some scenes in this, Chris, where like my jaw fucking dropped.
Really?
Like, the cinematography, like just watching it, I was like, this is amazing. Just the visual, what I'm seeing here just looks fantastic.
Did you see this in Max?
No, and I regret it. I regret it thoroughly.
Right. Okay.
So absolutely worth it to go. I don't know if you have to pay extra or whatever. If you can see this in Max or IMAX or whatever it is,
we'll probably get to see
it
next week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, definitely go see it. And yeah, shell out the extra bucks for
The extra couple
for Max.
for Max.
The sound design and the soundtrack are like, that's the main reason you want to see this in Max, I'd say, because it's thunderous, it's booming, it's just insane, and it heightens some of the moments. There's one particular scene where the sound coupled with the visuals, and I was feeling the chills, man. The hair on my arm was standing up. I was like, this is brilliant.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely excellent film. There's probably valid complaints with it as well. Like it's very dark, for a superhero film. That's why I say if you like MCU, like Marvel movies,
You're probably not gonna like this.
Yeah, this is so, like, really think Seven. This is the movie Seven.
I like Seven.
I love Seven. So yeah. It really just clicked for me. And yeah, again, like Robert Pattinson as the Batman just shocked me how good he was. He just fits the suit so well. Obviously, it's designed around him or whatever, and it probably specified it to his face. Nails it, and he doesn't do like the Bale kind of like, "I'm Batman"
growl.
Yeah, he does like his own interpretation of it, which is really good. Just love it.
Okay, good. That's a solid recommendation, D.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
11 out of
Batman.
10. 4. 6. How many stars?
6.
6 stars. It's a 7-star experience out of 10. No, it's very good. Very good. Highly recommend it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad your experience was good.
I really look forward, Chris, if you do see it, I'd love to talk to you about it. So,
good. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. I'd love to get to see it. I just love going to see, even if I'm not. I think I've spoken about this before. Even if it's a movie that I really don't have too much of an interest in, not that I don't have an interest in seeing the Batman, but whenever a big movie or a big kind of blockbuster hits cinemas, I just like going to the cinema to see it. I felt very much that way before we went to see Blade Runner 2049, and that film blew me away at how much it was fantastic and how much I enjoyed it. That kind of way. So
big hype.
I will see this. Yeah, big
That's
hype
excellent.
energy.
Another thing I just want to mention is Mickey Giacchino does the score.
Of course he does.
I am a little bit astonished by this man, like what he has done.
Yeah.
So like, I think he might be the most prolific composer in Hollywood.
You think?
I think. Like, you think of his back catalogue. He's done The Incredibles. He's done Mission Impossible. Right? He's done Star Trek. And then he did Star Wars.
He did.
He did Rogue One. Right? So he's done like the two big fucking famous sci-fi franchises. He's done Spider-Man. And now he's done Batman. So he's done two of the biggest comic book franchises of all time. He's done Mission Impossible, as I mentioned. He's done Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He's done Jurassic World. So he's now done.
He has.
So he's basically done all of the, what do you call it? What do you call that guy? John Williams scores. So
John Williams.
He's done Star Trek. He started Star Wars. He's done Jurassic World. He did Spider-Man. We talked about.
Dude, he did Up.
He did Up. Yeah. The Incredibles. Coco.
And let's not forget he did Lost.
I haven't even got to his TV stuff. Like, he's done Lost, Fringe, Alcatraz, Alias. He's done amazing fucking work, and he's done video games as well, Chris. He's done he's done both Call of Duty, the early Call of Duties, and Medal of Honor. Like, it's not like he picks a franchise and just like defines it. He's everywhere, man. He's fucking everywhere, doing all the big names, and it's no bother to him. And his Batman score is like booming. It's excellent. So yeah, just wanted to mention our boy Mickey Giacchino. Mickey G. Seen him live. We're first name / surname basis with him.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah,
we're friends on Facebook.
Friends on MySpace. So yeah.
He writes on my wall on Bebo.
Yeah, he posts on Tumblr. Yeah, just wanted to shout that out because like I was like, this guy always does amazing work. So yeah, that aside from that, Chris, for my week, it's been very quiet. What with a bit of work, didn't really eat anything special. The only thing we had worth of note was a new place that opened up beside us called Nando's. but it's not Nando's. It's spelled like naan as in naan bread, and doughs as in pizza dough. I thought it was pretty cool. Nando's.
That's brilliant.
They did.
I like that.
They did excellent chips.
Okay.
Like restaurant quality chips. I was shocked how well they traveled from
Okay.
the place to us. Delicious peppered chicken and like shoeless onion meal. Absolutely delicious. Average burger. Bad pizza.
Ooh.
Which I was shocked by
Okay.
when they have dough in the name. But yeah, the pizza was just not good at all. So that's my recommendation for everyone
That's disappointing.
up in Belfast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me, Chris.
Oh,
what
sorry.
What about your
Okay, sorry.
your week so far?
My week from we last podcast. Saturday was great, and then Sunday, Colin and I both got COVID. So
not great at all.
no, from then on, dude, it's been pretty rope-a-dope. We spoke a little bit before we started this episode, and we're just same kind of thing. We're just so disappointed that we had come so long, and then to both get. Well, I guess in one sense, it's been great that we both got it at the exact same time, because there was no kind of separate isolation or anything needed. We just kind of locked down together, and that was it. Similar to yourself and Laura, I suppose, just locked down. You were, but so Colleen wasn't too well on Friday. Saturday she was a bit better, and then Sunday she tested and was obviously positive. But what she went through on the Friday, I kind of caught on the Sunday, which was just this Sunday morning. Sorry, I should say I woke, and whenever I tested positive, I was still feeling fine. It was still 100%, just another Sunday. And then by about 1 o'clock, I'd say, it had felt like I had just been beaten just mercilessly, and suddenly this fever came on, this really, really tough to shake fever. Like I was shaking with like cold. I couldn't like move, like my skin was sore, just aches and pains everywhere. And that was pretty much all of Sunday. It took until like well into like Sunday evening before that the fever kind of subsided ever so slightly. And then Tuesday and even into Wednesday, we were both saying that like our skin was just so sore. Like, so I don't know if you got this, but like just so like
sensitive.
Yeah, that's it. Just so painful. Even like clothing against everything was just painful. Sore throats, coughs, all the standard kind of COVID symptoms. So it's been a pretty shitty week trying to get back on our feet. Today has been a pretty decent day so far. My chest is pretty tight and pretty full, and I think Collins is the same, but we'll get there. But it's just been one of those weeks. First couple of days just didn't do anything, just kind of lay there and pass the day by lying. We had Mindhunter to kind of keep us going, so we finished the second season of Mindhunter, which actually I loved. I thought it was such a terrific season. And then I've been playing a decent bit of Elden Ring, and that's it. Like I can't even say that we ate anything noteworthy or anything, because both our appetites have just been so poor. Like it's just eat a little bit when you feel like eating, and that's about it, and just kind of getting through the day. So it's just been a super dull week, but at the same time a cool week, I guess, because it's not nice to have to go through it, but at the same time we're kind of both saying, well, now we've had it and we've both had it together, that's good, and now we can kind of put it behind us and move forward, which is nice. But yeah, that's it. We watched a couple of things like on Netflix, but as I said to you, it's mainly been like Parks and Rec, Friends. What else have we been watching? We watched Mindhunter. Stuff that's been easy, just to kind of lay there, no brain capacity whatsoever needed, and just let it play on TV. So today's the first day that we're both kind of feeling a little bit more ourselves, but still testing positive. So we'll just continue to I don't know, continue to monitor it, and
Wait this thing out.
hopefully by next week, hopefully by next weekend, then we'll be back somewhat to ourselves, back on our feet.
Yeah, dude.
But it sucks, man.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. It's just like it's just an awful week. I know. I can't know what you're talking about. It's like fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're kind of feeling a little bit better, and hopefully getting around the bend. Is that what you say? Over the hill?
That's it, yeah. Right. Over the hill and around the bend and
to grandmother's
far
house
away. Teletubbies come to play. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, because it just felt like we were just kind of hitting like we came back to do the podcast and we were back like a week or two, and then you got hit with it and it was like, oh, damn. Yeah. And then we came back and we're like, okay, now we're back. And then now I've been hit with it and it's like, okay, something else. So hopefully that's it. Like hopefully we'll find our stride again and keep going.
Yeah, God. I just hopefully you're only a few more days to endure and get back to yourself, man.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm super looking forward, and so is Colleen, to just having an appetite again.
Oh,
that
dude.
That is the thing that has annoyed me so much. It's like, because I love my food and I eat so much on a given day, and to go from like what I was eating, like, put it like this, when I was following like my diet plan or whatever for like before I got hit, so even last week I was on about 3,400 calories daily, so Monday to Friday, sticking to that. And I'd say maybe on those days, maybe if I was getting like, I was under 1,000 calories anyway, I'd say. It just hits you like a fucking, like, it's a vicious circle, because if you don't eat, you don't have energy, but you don't have energy to eat, so you don't have energy, and it's just a vicious circle. Yeah. And I haven't been properly, like you, I haven't been properly ill or sick, thankfully, in years. So when it did hit, it kind of hit tough or bad, I guess.
It throws you for a loop, because you're like, just the things you take for granted are just kind of different now, I think. Particularly the appetite thing, man. I can empathize with that. You will have to tell me whenever you're back on pod about the meal, when the appetite comes back, what the meal is, because that's going to be a very pleasant experience. I mean, if silver lines and all that, you know.
Yeah, I know. I look forward to that, man.
It reminds me of like whenever we were younger, we were like out for the day on a big old walk or something, or on the bikes, and you're cycling home and you're just thinking about, what am I going to eat? So
and you're putting all these ideas in each other's head. Yeah, it was even yesterday we actually watched The Founder, which is about the founder of McDonald's, the Michael Keaton movie, and God, all the way through it we were like, God, I would love a McDonald's right now. Like, we don't even eat McDonald's, you know what I mean? But it's like, God, I would love a McDonald's. So that's the kind of thing. I think we're getting there to the point where we're actually starting to look forward to food again. So here's hoping. Like, thankfully, none of us lost smell or taste. Because if I lost that, I don't even know what I'd do.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'd do. God, that'd be so sad. That'd be so sad. I feel so bad for so many people I hear who have got COVID, who have lost their smell and taste. I'm like, what's the point? You know?
Some people just eat food as sustenance and nothing else, and I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, likewise. Food is such an enjoyable, pleasant experience, and if you can enjoy it like the way that we do, being in a first world country where you can enjoy food, like readily enjoy food, like as much of it kind of as you want, whenever you want, like it's such a thing to enjoy. Never mind like just enjoying it as a fuel. I hate that. Like,
people just load themselves with like, and not just might as well be eating dirt as long as it has the nutrition. Can't understand that.
Screw that.
But
yeah, that's it. So it's just been a slow. It hasn't even been a slow week. It's just been a week.
I imagine it's a very long week actually. Yeah, because you have nothing else to do.
That's it. I've been tracking. So I tracked on my Whoop. I've been tracking like all the vitals and stuff on a daily basis, and it tracks your recovery and stuff. And God, it just after the first day, it just shit itself. It had no idea what was going on. It was like, oh my God, your heart rate's all over the place. Your skin temperature's up. You're not recovering. Are you sick?
Yes.
You sick?
Just a text saying, are you still alive?
But it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty, like it's weird that in this day and age, like it's not even cold and flu symptoms. It's like, have you COVID-19 symptoms?
Yeah,
on the app, and I'm
that's
like,
how up to
yes.
date it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, I do. And it's like, okay, so you must be recovering from an illness. So, but it's just to see how like much my like resting heart rate has increased, how my skin temperature increased. Colin and I both said that it was a good thing. I didn't check this in the first day or two, the first couple of days when I got it, because I wasn't on my phone. But I think it's a good thing we didn't, because we both know like our temperatures were way up through the roof, and I don't even know what my heart would have been at. I probably would have freaked myself out some more. I might have even like called like a doctor or something, or God knows, you just would have panicked. So it's a good job I didn't check those things on, because it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, these metrics that you can get nowadays.
Yeah, I think they're good to have over a longer term, not a long period of time, so you can track. But in the short term, yeah, especially when you're not feeling well. I know that. I know exactly that, because you're kind of like, your mind immediately just goes to worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's like I've got this. I've got this rare disease which only 0.01% of people ever get.
There you
got
go.
it.
Yeah.
I have it. It's unfortunate for me. Be dead by
There you
morning.
Yeah. That's like, no, you just have a migraine. Yeah.
But I was thinking that whenever I had it, I was like, I know it's very unlikely, but I could just be one of those people who will not react well to this, and I'm just going to die. I remember the first workout I did after not being 100% recovered, but not symptomatic anymore, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like my lateral flows were negative, and I went and did a workout, and my chest was so dry, and I was just feeling, I was like breathing for the next like 6 hours. My breath.
Yeah. I
was just so conscious of it. And I was like, I've just done my lungs in now. So I have fucking. Yeah. I was convinced myself I've got scarring all over my lungs. I'm never going to be able to breathe. That's it.
Like,
again,
I think that's how we both feel at the minute. Like, it's just it feels like heavy to breathe.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how much like it's going to take out of anyone who gets it, and that's it, dude. Like, I was peaking so well in my workouts, and now I seen myself in the mirror the other day, and I was like, you've lost so much. And I know it's probably wrong that you haven't, but you just make yourself believe you haven't trained. And I know like it's going to take me weeks to get back to even close to where I was, and I'm like, I just don't know if I have it in me.
That's demoralizing. Like,
but
on the positive, at least you've got something you'll be making good progress again.
Yeah, well, that's it. In the grand scheme of things, taking a week or 2 weeks to play host to this horrible virus and then let it disappear. Well, that's it. But it's not a big deal. We'll get there.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's it. Hopefully, we'll be back next week, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And we have a podcast coming up. Hopefully, with the It's Obvious guys, to really look forward to as well. So
yeah,
that's just gonna be.
The prospect of that. I mean,
I know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So hopefully, if all being well, that could happen next weekend, and it would be such an honor for us to get onto their show. But we'd like to be together for that, ideally. So, here's hoping by this time next weekend I could be up in Belfast with you.
Yeah,
hopefully.
That'd be awesome. It's just not the same, Chris, being separated by this.
It's not.
This digital medium,
It's and I've been doing some research and reading some awesome stories that I'm going to take to the podcast. So I really look forward to it. Like, brilliant. So that's about it. That's what my week is looking like ahead. I need to consider when I'm going to be back on my feet and when we're going to get back to work and things like that. So, but I'm not going to rush anything. I'm going to let my body kind of do what it has to do to get rid of this. So. Absolutely. We'll get there. Gotta keep people safe these days,
Mm-hmm.
So
I wish you a speedy recovery, you and Colin both.
Thank you. We appreciate it. I don't have anything else to really add to this. I don't think. It's just been super nice to be able to jump on and just talk crap for a couple hours.
Absolutely.
It's
strange, like, because we didn't do it for so long. And then we came back and it was kind of like, okay, we have to do this because we haven't done it for so long. But now it's kind of like, I'd be feeling a bit off if we didn't get to do it.
That's it. I've never been so glad to see your text to say, like, would you be feeling up for a podcast? I was like, I so was. Yeah. I was like, yes, absolutely. Just, truly, yes.
Here we are.
So,
excellent.
glad to get this one done. Anything else you want to add to this episode before we close up shop?
No, I think
No.
I think I've said everything I have to say.
Excellent. Well, so have I. So this has been, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been episode 128 of the podcast. If you are listening to the audio version, remember the video version is available over at youtube.com/emptypromisepodcast. And if you're watching the video version, remember you can take us with you anywhere you wish to go. You can find the podcast on any podcast hosting service. Just search for Empty Promise Podcast. Get in contact with us with any community questions you may have. We love to hear from you guys, and we will answer those kind of just as frequently as we can on our episodes. And we should be back next weekend, if not with the It's Obvious Boys on their podcast, with our own. And I'll have a nice little story, our next kind of big topic, if you like.
Excellent. Intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Intriguing. Yeah, you should be. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in this week. We'll see you all next week, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Goodbye and God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.